The following is a slightly historical series on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era of China's history. Because this is based off of a video game, and myself playing it, there will be a lot of incorrect information that we will correct using the help of Wikipedia. For those of you who want to learn more about Dynasty Warriors, or the Romance of the Three Kingdoms era, I suggest reading the book. Please enjoy the following presentation. With Sun Tzu.
Sun Tzu. Sun Tzu.
We've talked about Sun Tzu quite a lot, but we haven't actually had his, straight storyline just yet. Sun Tzu, born in May of 175, courtesy name Bofu. He was the eldest son of Sun Jian, a military general serving under the Eastern Han Dynasty. In 190, a year after Emperor Ling died, the warlord Dongzhuo usurped power, placing in the throne the puppet Emperor Jian. Regional warlords in eastern China then launched a campaign against Dongzhuo. Sun Jian rendered his service to Yuan Shao, one of the leaders of the coalition. The attempt to oust Dongzhuo soon failed, and China slid into a series of massive civil wars. In the next year, Sun Jian was sent by Yuan Shao to attack Liu Biao, governor of Jing, but he was killed in an ambush. So, right there, I am gonna assume that Sun Tzu was involved in those battles because he was Sun Jian's eldest son, and at those points, he was 15, 16 years old, so it is very likely he was at those battles, but let's jump in and see where it starts us. Or actually, let me read the little tidbit here too. The eldest son of Sun Jian, he is always searching for a good fight. His energy and refreshing nature has endeared him to the people. And if you remember in the Zhou Yu episode, hard gay vibes between those two.
I'm Sun Tzu. I came up here with my father so we could take care of those yellow turbans. This is pretty bad. All the people are going crazy because of them.
Yellow Turban Rebellion happening a little earlier than, let me restart that. Yellow Turban Rebellion happened in around the years 183 to 185, if I remember correctly, and at that point Sun Tzu was only like 10 years old, so there's no way he was involved in those battles. But because we already know when Sun Tzu dies, we're gonna go through all of the early battles as a result.
This is what it means to live in chaos. I have to say I don't really like it, but it does give the Sun family a chance to make a name for ourselves throughout the land. If we're going to fight, I'm not going to lose. Father and I are going to make it big together. Sun Tzu is tired of waiting. Let's go get him.
Yeah, there's no way Sun Tzu was old enough to battle.
A coalition led by Commander He Jin to suppress the Yellow Turbans. We will soon march to bring the rebel Zhang Jiao and his followers to justice. Zhang Jiao's men are not soldiers, so they pose little danger. The real threat is Zhang Jiao and his brothers, who have learned the ways of black magic. We must be careful. Say, this will be your first time on the battlefield. Show the world now that you are a great warrior. Greater even than me.
The bandit leader, Zhang Jiao, has been defeated, along with his lies. Without him, the Yellow Turbans are finished. As commander, I would like to thank you all for your service. I want all of you to return to your homes and continue to loyally serve the Han. We must ensure that the land never again sees such chaos.
Brother, this current.
Yes, it's fast. Much like time itself.
In this chaos, the strong shall inherit the land. Say, Guan, Zheng, come now. It is time for the tiger to stand and face the chaos!
I took care of the Yellow Turban leader, Zhang Jiao. Now the world's sure to hear about the Sun family, but the capital is still going crazy. That Dong Zhuo guy is running wild over there. We can't be having that. So my father and some others formed a coalition to bring him down. A battle wouldn't be complete without me in the middle of things. I'll take out that Hua Xiong at Sishui Gate and make our family even more famous.
I'm just saying, after this, when I play as Da Qiao, like I mentioned with other female characters, she's not actually here in the battles with us, which is funny. But other female characters do show up in battles, which is kind of funny, like Zhenji and Yue Ying.
Thanks to your abilities, we were able to quell the rebellion of the Yellow Turbans. However, now the capital has fallen under the tyranny of Dong Zhuo.
And the reason why I mention that is because we're probably just going to be doing the same exact battles, but just with Da Qiao.
In response, a new coalition has been formed under the leadership of Yuan Shao. We are to lead an attack on Sishui Gate to open the way to Luoyang. Dong Zhuo's officer, Hua Xiong, guards Sishui Gate. He is said to be a skilled warrior. Say, take him down and show the world that your strength is superior.
Together we have defeated Dong Zhuo's general, Hua Xiong. Before long, we will capture Dong Zhuo himself and put an end to his greed and tyranny. Although we have not planned our next move, we must be prepared for anything. We do not know when the next threat to the land shall present itself.
Had a couple of tacos today.
After we defeated Hua Xiong at Sishui Gate, Yuan Shao and the others went on to the capital and eliminated Dong Zhuo. Man, why'd they go without me? After we all went back to Wu, we went and attacked Liu Biao and Jing. The fact that Yuan Shu asked us to do this for him bothers me, but oh well. I'm always more than happy to join a fight, but I've got a weird feeling about this one. Father, we might want to be a little careful this time.
Say, you did an excellent job back at Sishui Gate. Dong Zhuo's tyranny has ended, and the dark clouds that cover this land have finally passed over. But now, the once unified coalition has split in all directions. Yuan Shu has entered into a struggle with Liu Biao of Jing, and is requesting our assistance. In this battle, I want you to lead the army up the center and lure out the enemy. Huang Gai and I will join you from the west and east. Say, I'm counting on you.
Brother, Father has...
We mustn't lose focus. It'll be okay. Wait for me, Father. I will kill Liu Biao for you. We wiped out that punk Liu Biao and captured Jing. That ought to teach those across the land not to mess with us. I'm worried about Father. With him in this condition, I have to do my best. We must be sure that we are fully prepared for the battle ahead. Juan, someday you will surpass even me. Zhou Yu, our time has finally come. Let's show them what we got. Watch over me, Father. I swear to you, I shall claim this land for us! My father died due to an injury he suffered during our attack against Liu Biao. But I don't have time to be sad over this. I've got to lead Wu now that he's gone. I decided to make the Wu territory the foundation of our kingdom. I'm going to go after Yu Yang. And while we're at it, everyone else around there.
You know, I completely forgot to keep on reading the actual Wikipedia page. So, I mean, that is partly because he was only mentioned in those previous 3 battles. He wasn't even mentioned in the first one, but let's pick it up from where we left off. After he was his father was killed, Sun Ce brought his father's body to Chue for burial and settled his mother down before heading to Danyang, where his maternal uncle Wu Jing was the governor. There he raised a small militia with a few hundred in strength. This small force was far from sufficient for him to establish his own power, so in 194, Sun Ce went to Yuan Shao. Yuan Shao was very impressed with Sun Ce and often lamented that he had no son like him. He also returned Sun Jian's former divisions of troops to Sun Ce. Initially, Yuan Shao promised to appoint Sun Ce as the governor of Jian, but eventually gave the governorship to Chen Ji. Later, when Yuan Shao was denied a large loan of grains from the governor of Lujiang, he sent Sun Ce to attack the latter, promising to make Sun Ce the governor of Lujiang should he succeed. When Sun Ce did, however, Yuan Shao again went back on his words and appointed someone else. The disappointed Sun Ce then began to contemplate leaving. Meanwhile, Liu Yao, who was by imperial decree the governor of Yang province, occupied Chue, as the regional seat Shouchun was already occupied by Yuan Shao. He then forced Wu Jing back west across the Yangtze River to Liyang. However, Yuan Shao claimed to be the rightful governor and sent Wu Jing and Sun Ce's cousin, Sun Ben, to attack Liu Yao. After that, they were unable to break down Liu Yao's defenses for more than a year. Sun Ce requested to lead forces to assist the effort. After this, we come to the conquest of Wu territory, which there is a huge thing written down here.
My best friend Zhou Yu is helping me out big time. He's got more energy in him now than he did in Jing. Let's go, Zhou Yu. The land will soon be all ours.
Though Yuan Shao knew that Sun Ce intended to leave, he believed the latter would not be able to defeat Liu Yao. Thus, he deployed the young general off with merely 1,000 troops and a tiny cavalry force. Along with a few hundred more willing followers, Sun Ce proceeded to Liyang, where he boosted his strength to more than 5,000. He then launched an offensive across the Yangtze River and successfully occupied the strategic position of Niuzhu in 195. Way down!
Sun Ce, it is unfortunate about Sun Jian. However, you cannot sit around and lament his loss forever. It is up to you to lead the Sun family to their destiny over the land. First, we must take the lands of Jiangdong and the Wu territory to use as a foothold in our quest for the land. I shall follow behind you with reinforcements. Wait for me to arrive. The enemy commander, Liu Yong, is not popular with his men and has trouble keeping his army together. If we capture their base, then they will surely surrender to us. Let us go, Sun Ce. Now is our time.
Let's see, it says the commander here is Liu Yong, although I did mention the name Liu Yao, so I'm not sure if that is a mix-up or if there's a little bit more here. Liu Yong doesn't have anyone underneath him. Alright, yeah, no, it is Liu Yong, so let me continue. Two of Liu Yao's allies then came south from Pancheng and Xiapi respectively to aid him. Sun Ce chose to first attack one of them, Zerong, who is not on this list. So I'm going to keep going. Zerong, who made camp south of Moling. After suffering initial defeat in the hands of the aggressor, Zerong fell back in defense and refused to engage in battle. Sun Ce then marched further north and attacked Jueli in Moling. Ah, there's Jueli right here. Jueli soon gave up the city and escaped. Liu Yao's subordinate Fan Neng and others had regrouped their forces and launched a renewed attack on Niuzhu. Turning back, Sun Ce defeated Fan Neng and secured Niuzhu. He then began a second offensive against Zerong. However, he was struck by a stray arrow in the thigh. Returning to Niuzhu, he sent out false words that he was killed in battle. The exalted Zerong sent a force to attack. Sun Ce sent a force to attack. Sometimes I can't see the periods. Sun Ce led the enemies into ambush and annihilated them. When Zerong heard that Sun Ce was still alive, he further reinforced his defenses.
We're ashore! Oh. This land isn't bad. This is not a bad start for my first step towards ruling the land. All right, let's go.
I was gonna say, I'll do first what actually happened in history and go across over this way and attack that city over there. Which, like I've mentioned many times previously, these battlefields are very squished to accommodate the fact that, you know, this is a video game and we're not actually gonna play out a 3-year-long siege in any kind of capacity with multiple small skirmishes that honestly could be its own video game, you know? So let's go attack this city over here. I just killed a dude named Yan Baihu, and there is a passage about him here. He was apparently just a wandering bandit army that I guess just happened to stroll on too close to this battle and got himself killed. But I'll read more about that when we get there.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Hey, Zhou Yu! Sorry, but I couldn't help starting without you. Hurry up already. This should be a lot more interesting now that you're here.
No problem. Allow me to relieve you of some of this burden.
Well, while I go across the map to go attack somebody else, I'll read another excerpt. Sun Ce temporarily gave up attacking Zerong and focused his forces on Chue. After all the surrounding areas were taken over by Sun Ce, Liu Yao gave up the city and escaped south to Nanchang, the capital of Yuzhong Commandery, where he died later. Hua Xin... Oh, hold on, let me open up these boxes. I need a new weapon. Hua Xin, administrator of Yuzhong, joined Sun's forces. As Sun Ce implemented strict discipline amongst his troops, he won the instant support of the local people and gathered many talented men such as Chen Wu, Zhou Tai, Jiang Qin, Zhang Zhao, Zhang Hong, Qin Song, and Lu Fan. He then pushed his force deeper into Yang province and conquered Kuaiji along the southern shore of the Hangzhou Bay. Sun Ce made Kuaiji his base city and struck out at the wandering bandit army led by Yan Baihu, who I had killed earlier.
Now, attack!
Yan Baihu sent his younger brother Guan Yu to offer Sun Ce a position alongside Yang Baihu, but Sun Ce showed no mercy and personally slew the emissary. As Guan Yu was known among Yan Baihu's men as a fierce warrior, his death struck fear into the hearts and they were soon defeated. So, okay, I'm doing a couple of things a little out of order in this battle. But these are all, a couple of these guys are names that are actually in this game, which is, I mean, you should expect that kind of thing, but it is nice that I am indeed killing these people. Sun Ce then appointed his relatives and a trusted subject to govern Danyang and Yuzhong, from which he divided a new commandery named Lu Ling. His campaign from the occupation of Niuzhu to the conquest of the entire region southeast of the Long River took less than a year. He then defeated and received the services of Zhu Long, the chief of Danyang, and Taishi Tzu, the leader of the remnants of Liu Yao's forces.
Come face to face with defeat. But we refuse to turn and run at the first sign of trouble. Come, Tai Shi Chi shall be the last thing in your way. Now is the time to finish this! No one's getting past me. I'll stake my life on it.
He then urged the surrender of Hua Xin and another one of the remnants of Liu Yao's forces. Thus, with the exception of the scattered but still numerous army of Yan Baihu, the lands south of the Yangtze were mostly pacified.
Farewell!
We've driven out Liu Yang and secured a land to call our own. And as a bonus, we obtained some capable officers as well. I have no complaints. From now on, we'll use this territory of Wu in our quest towards unification of the land. Watch over me, Father. Before long, the Sun banner shall reach to the far corners of the continent.
Alright, before this next section, the barbarians of the Shan Yue tribe, however, were not easily dealt with. To counter the frequent rebellions of the Shan Yue, who would continue to rebel for many years, Sun Ce appointed He Qi to a military rank with orders to subdue the Shan Yue. He Qi became a highly successful general later. Truly, his appointment by Sun Ce was the first important step to Wu's eventual subjugation of the Shan Yue.
We were able to increase our territory quite rapidly after conquering Wu. Some people started calling me the Little Conqueror. These guys are making me blush.
In 197, Yuan Shao declared himself the emperor, an act deemed treasonous against the Han dynasty. In a letter to Yuan Shao, Sun Ce denounced the move and broke ties with him. In an effort to garner support from Sun Ce, the rising warlord Cao Cao then recommended him to be appointed general who attacks rebels, and enfeoffed as the Marquis of Wu. In 199, Yuan Shao died of sickness along with his short-lived Zhong dynasty. His cousin Yuan Yin feared Cao Cao and gave up Shou Chun, bringing along Yuan Shao's coffin and his former troops. He headed to Wan County to seek refuge under Liu Jun. As Liu Jun had insufficient food supplies in his realm to support the additional troops, he led a force south to pillage Haihun. Sun Ce was en route to attack Huangzhou and Jiakou when he received the news. He then turned back and captured the poorly defended Wan County, taking over all of Yuan Shao's 30,000 former troops. Hearing that his base city had been taken, Liu Jun, not Lu Xun, that does actually join Wu, Liu Jun headed west and sought help from Huangzhou, who sent a 5,000-strong naval force to assist him. Sun Ce pressed forward and defeated Liu Jun, who escaped north to Cao Cao. Sun Ce annexed more than 2,000 former troops and 1,000 ships of his enemy and came upon Huangzhou. Despite reinforcements from Liu Biao, Huangzhou was utterly defeated. During the battle, Sun Ce slew Liu Biao's officer Han Ji and completely routed Huangzhou's son, Huang She.
Right when we're about to get things rolling, somebody has to get in the way. The other day we were paid a visit by a suspicious-looking guy called Yu Ji.
Oh, so we are doing the trials of Sun Ce.
Not only did Yu Ji start lowering the men's morale with his lies, but now he's trying to mess with me. I'm not one to back down from a challenge. I'll make him regret ever coming here.
I'll continue on though. The victorious Sun Ce in 199 looked poised to take over the entire southern China. As he was threatened by rival Yuan Shao in the north and could not divide his attention, Cao Cao attempted to further reinforce the alliance with Sun Ce by marrying the daughter of his relative Cao Ren to Sun Ce's youngest brother, Sun Quan. Sun Ce in turn agreed to marry the Sun Ben's daughter to Cao Cao's son, Cao Shang. The former administrator of Wu Commandery, Zhu Gong, had long opposed Sun Ce. Zhu Gong wrote to Emperor Jian recommending the emperor to summon Sun Ce to the capital as he deemed Sun Ce to be a hero comparable to Xiang Yu and too dangerous to be allowed to occupy a territory. However, the letter was intercepted by an official loyal to Sun Ce, who attacked and then had Zhu Gong executed. Zhu Gong's former servants then kept a low profile and waited for the chance for revenge. In the year 200, Cao Cao engaged in the decisive Battle of Guan Yu with Yuan Shao along the shores of the Yellow River, leaving the capital and his base city of Zhuchang poorly guarded. Sun Ce is said to have then plotted to attack Zhu Chang under the banner of rescuing Emperor Jian, who was a figurehead under Cao Cao's control. Preparations were underway for the military excursion when Sun Ce ran into 3 former servants of Zhu Gong during a solo hunting trip. One of them managed to plant an arrow into Sun Ce's cheek before Sun Ce's men arrived and slew the assassins. Many differing accounts of Sun Ce's death exist, but this one is generally the accepted scenario, as he died that same night. Another possible scenario, I don't see the name that he mentions, UG, anywhere, but another possible scenario has Sun Ce living for quite some time. The physician told Sun Ce to rest for 100 days to allow the wound to heal, but Sun Ce looked into the mirror one day and, seeing his scar, became so enraged that he slammed the table. A large movement caused the wound to break and he died that night. Although he was survived by one son, Sun Ce passed his legacy to his younger brother Sun Quan. When Sun Quan declared himself the emperor of the state of Eastern Wu, he honored Sun Ce with the posthumous title Prince Huan of Changsha. And then again, I don't see the name UG anywhere. Oh, actually, I just found it. Historically implausible legend regarding Sun Ce's death involves a highly respected Taoist priest of his time, Guan Yu, whom he condemned as a sorcerer due to his popularity. Despite petitions from his subjects and his own mother, Sun Ce ordered Guan Yu's execution. According to In Search of the Supernatural by Gan Bao, a compilation largely based on legends and hearsay, Sun Ce began to see apparitions of Guan Yu ever since the execution of the latter. After he was injured by assassins, Sun Ce was told by the physician to rest still to allow the wound to heal. However, he looked into the mirror one day and saw Guan Yu's face, whereupon he let out a cry and slammed the mirror. His wound broke and he died shortly thereafter. This version was adopted and further dramatized in the novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms, in which Guan Yu's name was taken to be Yuji. So, whether or not Sun Ce was cursed by a sorcerer is pretty interesting development here.
No. Sensei.
You! Do you realize what you've just done? You're going to pay for this!
I wiped out Yuji. It takes more than simple trickery to defeat Sun Ce. Hopefully he'll learn his lesson and never show himself before me again. There was something weird about that guy, though. Now I'm feeling strangely tired. Well, the battles for the land will surely continue. Perhaps I should rest for a bit first. Now that we've taken care of UG, we can begin our campaign anew. Our target is Yuan Shao, and the coward who killed my father, Huang Zu. He'll pay for what he did.
So clearly at this point, Sun Ce had already been dead, so he's not actually at this battle, but probably going to do something like he's going to die in this battle. I think that's actually what happens in other characters' perspectives, but I don't exactly remember.
But my body hasn't been acting right lately. Ever since I fought with UG. It must have cursed me or something. But I don't have time to be whining about things like this. I have to get everything ready for my brother Quan to look after Wu when I'm gone.
Sun Ce, the strength of Wu is increasing steadily. Now is the time to avenge the death of our lord Sun Jian and put his spirit to rest. Our enemy, Huang Zu, has sensed the threat our power presents to him and has taken up a defensive position within Shakou. But he is no match for the little Conqueror. I am somewhat worried about your health, but you have no intention of resting, do you? We must win the battle at all costs. Let's go, Sun Ce. It is time for us to realize our dreams.
Brother!
Quan, watch and learn how I fight. Someday, you'll have to become stronger than even Father and I.
Sun Ce, you're not still suffering from that mystic spell, are you?
Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Let's go. It's time for the Sun family of Wu to grasp their destiny. Huang Zu, face the vengeance of Sun Jian's son.
Hurry! Prepare the boats for launch!
Ling Cao, strike the enemy's central fleet. Tai Shi Chi, halt the advance of Lugong.
I think that
I have come for your head.
there should be more integration of like the player losing on purpose, especially in like a story sense right here, building up the fact that Sun Ce dies. Like for some reason during the battle, your health just keeps depleting and you get left at 1 health so that anything kills you. Or something like you just get weaker and slower and weaker and slower.
To be my final battle.
It's like how in, I know a Dragon Ball fighting game is very different from a Warriors game like this. But, I know from Dragon Ball Budokai, when Goku has the heart disease, your health is just constantly being lowered. And it's a race against a clock more than it is a battle against whoever you're fighting.
Just because we're a supply base doesn't mean we can't fight.
But especially in a game like this that, you know, sure, it's not a historical game, but it is cool to see and experience the history. If they did something like, you know, you just... what am I trying to say? It just becomes harder and harder for you to like deal damage, and everyone just deals more and more damage, and eventually you die because you're supposed to die in this battle. Like, honestly, that would be cool.
I'll take the east shortcut to hit the enemy's rear.
And honestly, they don't even do that in like future Dynasty Warriors games. Because I know in Dynasty Warriors 8, it's like, for Sun Ce at least, they have you win a battle and then die. But at that, you're not playing that character's individual storyline, too. Oh, look, there's Da Qiao.
Many more to go.
Hello, my wife. What are you doing here? And also, on top of that, I think if they implemented, you know, your character that you're playing as will die at the end of the story. And, you know, sure, it's one thing to give some guys like 5 battles and whatnot, but like, if they weren't so rigid in the structure, is what I'm trying to say, this game could be a lot better. Like, sure, Sun Jian, he dies really early on, so just, you know, let him die.
Huh. I have killed the villain Huang Zu. Your assassin is coming to join you, Father. Do with him as you please. We have added the lands of Jiangxia to those of Wu. The base of our power has now been solidified. I'm somewhat relieved.
It was during the final days of the year 200 AD when the Han Dynasty saw its end. Its demise ushered in a new era of chaos, brought on by several regional lords vying to rule China. There were those who sought absolute power, as well as those who fought for justice, and some simply fought for the sake of their beliefs. Many would rise and fall in their attempts to dominate the land. Sun Ce, from the land of Fuchun in the Wu territory, the eldest son of Sun Jian, he participated in many historical battles alongside his father. A brave warrior in his own right, Sun Ce was also very popular. He first distinguished himself as part of the coalitions against the Yellow Turbans and Dongzhuo, and fought and defeated Liu Biao at Jing. However, his father was severely wounded during the attack and died on the battlefield. Becoming ruler of Wu at a young age, Sun Ce decided to live out his father's ambitions. Partnered with his good friend Zhou Yu, the two began to conquer parts of the land with incredible speed. As a result, Sun Ce earned the nickname the Little Conqueror. One day, a sorcerer named Yu Ji appeared in Wu. Fearing that his sorcery and illusions would cause more chaos, Sun Ce killed him. However, Yu Ji had cast a powerful spell on Sun Ce that nearly took his life. Despite his ailments, Sun Ce continued to fight. Having created a solid foundation for Wu, Sun Ce set out to avenge his father and solidify his power. He did so by conquering Xiakou and slaying Huangzu in the process. The kingdom of Wu had become powerful and was ready to unify the land under its banner. Along with his younger brother Sun Quan and his generals, Sun Ce took the next step necessary to put an end to the chaos. These tales, long forgotten in the flows of time, are about the legends of which no one can recall.
And that is the story of Sun Ce, who, like I mentioned, would pass away from an attack from assassins, but there are disputes over his death, like I read earlier, the historically implausible legend about the sorcerer Yu Ji, or Ganji. Sun Shang, in his exposition on disparities and similarities, discounted the theory that Sun Ce made plans to attack Zhu Chang, which, funnily enough, in Dynasty Warriors 8, which is the most recent one I played, he actually does attack Zhu Chang while Cao Cao is at the Battle of Guan Yu, but then dies at the end of the battle, forcing everybody to retreat, which that's what I thought originally was the way he died, but obviously I was wrong about that. He believed that although Sun Ce was a rising power, he was threatened in the west by Huangzu, who was defeated but not eliminated, in the north by Chan Deng, governor of Guanling Commandery, and in the south by indigenous tribes yet to be assimilated. These prevented Sun Ce from striking far out at Zhu Chang and moving the emperor to southeastern China. He further argued that Sun Ce died on the 5th day in the 4th month of 200, before the Battle of Guan Yu even took place. Pei Zongxi, who annotated the records of the Three Kingdoms, rebuted Sun Shang, arguing that Huangzu was newly broken and had yet to recollect his forces, while the indigenous tribes were scattered and not that much of a threat. Pei Zongxi believed that the first objective of Sun Ce's planned northward excursion was to attack Chendang, which would provide a platform for capturing Zhu Chang. On the other hand, Cao Cao and Yuan Shao had been engaging in skirmishes and small-scale battles before Sun Ce's death. Thus, there was in fact no discrepancy in the timing. So, a debate on what his plans were before he was killed is, you know, something those old historians from 1500 years ago were debating, but I don't think it matters, honestly, what was in his head, where he wanted to attack next, because he's dead. Who cares where he wanted to attack next? He can't. It's up to Sun Quan to lead the Wu now. And now we can play as his wife, Da Qiao, which is a character I wanted to play a while ago.
Sorry. You know, with the fighting over, I kinda miss it. But a new challenge awaits. We're just getting started. This should be fun.
Fun fact, in Magic the Gathering, Sun Ce is a playable card. 3 colorless, 2 blue mana, Horsemanship. When Sun Ce comes into play, you may return any 1 creature from play to its owner's hand. What a horrible effect. And it's only a 3/3? Sun Ce, the Young Conqueror. How much does that go for on a TCG player? $100 near mint. If you want to own the Sun Ce card, you can get one for $60 light played. But that is the story of Sun Ce.